Everywhere you go, we're scrolling. Heads down, thumbs up, commenting, liking, posting and reposting. A Roy Morgan study from last year showed that on average, Australians over the age of 14 spend more than 6 hours a week on social media, but women from 14 to 24 are doing double that. So if you're thinking you might need to go on a social media diet, or you know someone who does, we're about to find out some ideas to help make it happen. Ming Johansson is a social media specialist and with us. Hello, Ming. How are you going?
Good, thanks, Prue.
Are you doing a social media detox this year?
Well, I actually practice a social media detox every week. So I make sure that I have a lot of disconnect in my technology.
So this has become a habit for you. This is not just a sort of a once off.
No, this is absolutely a habit and certainly my lifestyle choice. But I also, I run a digital marketing agency, so I'm on technology all the time. So I need to make sure that I have a bit more balance and a bit more habits that go towards that.
So we're starting from a position really where we're assuming that social media is bad for you. It's more complex than that though, isn't it?
Of course it is. So social media, I see it as it is very necessary in this kind of day and age in business and in the way that we operate and how we connect with people. Certainly I've had friends who've gone on a complete social media ban and then they've not been invited to family gatherings and parties because all of that happens now on Facebook. So the challenges is making sure that you're not actually losing connection with people, but you're making meaningful connection online.
So how do we go about that?
So I think making sure you're measuring the time that you're actually spending on social media, having little reminders. So on Facebook now, there's a setting within your security settings where you can set your time on Facebook and it actually pops up a little reminder when you've spent half an hour or an hour, depending on how much you're putting a limit on. So it lets you know because it's so easy to get trapped into a time vortex, especially with this continuous scroll design that we have. In a lot of our, even YouTube, YouTube is a black hole vortex for me.
They're so clever, aren't they? You start one and then the next just automatically rolls on in the example of YouTube. And as you say, that scrolling mentality, you do get into a kind of a meditation state with that thumb.
So it's making sure that you're not getting trapped into that vortex and there's disruptive things. So I set things like alarms on my phone for the next task that I need to do, just in case I do get trapped on social media. I have settings within my certain social media profiles that remind me, so Facebook and YouTube as well, they have little notifications that come up when I've hit half an hour or an hour, depending on how long I've allotted for my use per day. Also things like just making sure that you're making meaningful connection online as well. It's so easy for us just to get trapped in scrolling and we don't actually interact and we don't actually do anything with our social media interaction. And so some of the feedback I get certainly from people in my world, they often get stuck with social media being so disingenuous and, people are fake on there. I don't have that experience myself, but a lot of that is because I spend a lot of time investing in those relationships.
So you can do this kind of gradually, you can make it a habit. Are we finding that there's more help for this? And I think you mentioned that the social media sites themselves are even kind of identifying that there's an appetite for this kind of thing.
So even the social media platforms, they want people to make meaningful connection on social media because at the end of the day, active eyes, conscious eyes, they're buying things and making buying decisions. I'm a big believer that people should make conscious buying decisions, not unconscious ones. So they're not, buying things just for the heck of it. So, so there's also apps as well. So there's an app called App Blocker, and you can set all the different apps that you use regularly that are time vortexes, or what I like to call the black hole on the internet. So you can set those apps into that, and it will, every time you try to open them during a particular time of the day, so especially your work day, it'll actually tell you how many times you've attempted to open that app.
Ming, I just feel so disappointed that we've got to this point where we have to actually set up these structures around our lives to stop us from scrolling on social media. But look, it is a reality. Hey, Ming, Happy New Year and thanks so much for talking to us today.
Happy New Year, Prue. Thanks so much.